Sarawak welcomes more biodiversity research and creating carbon-reducing technology. On world news, teenage Iranian girl assaulted by security forces. You're now with me, Handy Gui, and this is TVS Nightline. Western governments have expressed concern after an alleged assault by Iranian security forces, which had reportedly left a teenager in a coma, with activists calling for an international investigation into the confrontation on the Tehran metro, just over a year after the death of Mahsa Amini, who had been arrested for allegedly violating the strict dress code for women in Iran.
Armita Garawan, 16, was attacked on Sunday by female police officers. However, Iranian authorities have claimed she fainted due to low blood pressure, denying any involvement of security forces. Iranian authorities have remained on high alert for any upsurge of social tension around and after the September 16th anniversary of Amini's death, which last year triggered months of unrest. In addition, the nationwide protest movement had rattled Iran's clerical leadership before dwindling in the face of a crackdown that, according to activists, saw hundreds killed and thousands arrested. The case has become the subject of intense discussion on social media, with a purported video of the incident said by some to show Garawan apparently unveiled, being pushed into the metro by police agents, and then an immobile body pulled out.
Sarawak encourages industry players, experts and scientists to conduct more biodiversity research in the state. Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Ahmad Johari Tunoping said the findings of the research could potentially assist in restoring the largest rainforest in Sarawak.
The Sarawak welcome research on biodiversity, particularly in the realm of life sciences. And this research should be undertaken through the process of generative AI. For example, what they can do for the scientists, they can do biological research on our rich biodiversity in terms of flora and fauna, and perhaps with their findings we can conserve the world's richest rainforest in Sarawak.
At the same time, Abang Johari hopes that a technology that is able to reduce carbon can be created in the near future.
As we are facing world crisis on climate change, I hope we can find technology that will cool the world and mitigate the emission of carbon. So to all of you, thank you very much. And if you have certain new ideas on how to produce hydrogen at a cheaper cost, please come over to Sarawak. Let us produce that hydrogen.
He spoke during the gala dinner in conjunction with the 27th World Congress on Innovation Technology WCIT and the 6th International Digital Economy Conference Sarawak IDEX on Thursday.
Sarawak remains committed to enhancing the status of its state civil servants, particularly concerning their emoluments and remuneration. Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Ahmad Johari Tunoping said the state's public service is currently tied to the federal government system, including pension benefits being administered by the federal government.
His speech was read by Deputy Minister in the Premier's Department for Labour, Immigration and Project Monitoring, Datuk Grawat Gala, during the launch of the program Malaysia Madani Negeri Sarawak at the Penview Convention Centre PCC on Thursday.
Kita bersyukur kerana ekonomi Sarawak telah menunjukkan peningkatan dari segi hasil negeri mulai dari tahun 2019. Pendapatan Sarawak sudah meningkat 1,5 kali ganda daripada purata 4,5 bilion ringgit setahun kepada 12 bilion pada 2022. Oleh kerana itu, saya berani mengusulkan inisiatif untuk menaik taraf sistem saraan perkhidmatan awam negeri. Kajian ke arah ini sedang diusahakan yang diketuai oleh Setiausaha Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak.
In the speech, he also acknowledged several points raised by the Congress of Unions of Employees in the Public and Civil Services QPACs, including the need for the federal government to review the civil service remuneration system, which has been used for 23 years. This included addressing issues related to pensions, regional allowances, the shortage of housing for civil servants, especially those residing outside urban areas, to ensure their comfort, particularly in Sarawak.
The Borneo Opera Festival 2023 marks a bold stride towards positioning Sarawak as a prime hub for opera music in the Southeast Asian region. Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, Dr. Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, affirmed that the primary goal of this event is to unite aspiring and seasoned opera singers from across the region.
Speaking during a press conference for the festival, Karim said the inaugural organization of the festival in Sarawak also aims to stimulate the interest of the local community towards diverse genres of music.
What we are trying to do is to create interest. To create interest not just in opera, but in all other form of music, because in a society there are bound to be those who love rock, those who love ethnic music. There are bound to be some who love opera, but it's the responsibility of the ministry and the agency that look after entertainment, Majlis Seni Sarawak and all that, to build up the interest.
Held on October 12th until 15th, the Borneo Opera Festival 2023 will feature a gala opera, concert and opera orchestra performances, and among others, showcase renowned Italian baritone maestro Alfio Grasso, along with Sarawak's very own opera prodigy, Jean-Marie Druce. Abdul Karim emphasized that the introduction of opera music in Sarawak sets a significant precedent for the organization of similar events in the future. He added that it is his ministry's duty to oversee the state's creative industry and performing arts while promoting all forms of art to society.
Traceability and transparency in business practices increase consumer confidence in a product and ultimately the business entity itself. It allows businesses to establish trust with their consumer by providing detailed information about the production and sourcing of goods, all the while building brand loyalty with consumers. A local company, Sini Sana, provides one such solution for Sarawak's halal beef market.
With that, I think traceability is important to Malaysian consumers too. And if you're looking at one of the things that we have done, which is for halal beef, traceability of halal beef, ensuring that Muslim consumers have full assurance that the beef that they're purchasing at the supermarket, we can trace the cuts, where it's from, it's authentic, and it's traceable back to the halal abattoir itself. So I think that is something that's important for consumers.
At the same time, traceability also has a positive impact to communities such as farmers receiving fair payment.
A lot of times when we talk about traceability, it's about product movement from A to B, B to C, which is part of the reason we're called Sini Sana. But we do a lot beyond that. We also trace payments that goes back to farmers. So for example, one of our projects with the indigenous communities here in Sarawak together with the Sarawak Biodiversity Centre, we ensure that the products made by the indigenous communities, as a consumer, you can see the payment going back, and you know that they are actually being paid an adequate amount, right? So I think these are areas in which transparency in certain areas can help small farmers.
In Sarawak, traceability has been applied by Sara Beef Sendirian Berhad, a subsidiary of the Sarawak Economic Development Corporation SADC, and its supply chain to ensure the quality of its output are safe and guaranteed.
A tragic incident occurred as a 49-year-old plantation supervisor lost his life in a fatal accident when his pickup truck skidded and plunged into a ravine along Jalan Bukit Peninjau. Miri Police Chief ACP Alexander Nagachabu said the accident unfolded around 4:30 p.m. when the driver attempted to overtake another pickup truck being driven by a 31-year-old man. However, during the overtaking maneuver, an oncoming vehicle approached dangerously close, compelling the victim's vehicle to return to its lane, resulting in a collision.
Alexen further mentioned that the collision led to the victim's vehicle losing control and veering into the ravine. Paramedics pronounced the victim dead at the scene. The deceased body was subsequently transported to the hospital for post-mortem. The case is being investigated under Section 41(1) of the Road Transport Act 1987.
Coming up right after the break, Malaysia becomes a hydrogen hub and the nation is still waiting for Indonesia's response on haze situation. Only on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the government is set to allocate subsidies for the people across the nation, covering electricity, fuel and food, with an expected expenditure of 81 billion ringgit this year. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim emphasized that the ongoing rationalization of subsidies is crucial to ensure assistance to the people and to keep the nation's economy robust.
He pointed out that despite the substantial figure, reducing subsidies is not an option for the government as it would burden the low-income citizens.
Subsidi ni maknanya harga itu tinggi dan kita bayar untuk mengurangkan harga. Dia bukan ekonomi pasar. Ini disebut sebagai campur tangan kerajaan untuk mengurangkan beban. Subsidi makanan itu tinggi. Subsidi ayam dan telur saja sehingga 30 September menjejak 3.8 bilion ringgit.
Anwar added that as part of this rationalization, subsidies for electricity for the wealthiest 1% of the population have been discontinued. But it will not be a burden as it won't affect the remaining 99% of the population. He further revealed that recently he requested the Tabung Haji (TH) board to evaluate all subsidies related to Hajj expenses for the wealthy group. The goal is to reallocate these subsidies to those in greater need.
Tetapi subsidi untuk rakyat terbanyak diteruskan. Dan sebab itulah tahun ini kita kenakan rasionalisasi ini dengan meminta masyarakat Muslim yang paling kaya tidak diberikan subsidi dan membantu hanya bagi jemaah yang lain. Alhamdulillah itu diterima baik. Malah suatu hal yang disebut oleh Menteri Agama baru ini yang sangat mengesankan ialah di antara yang layak mendapat subsidi 400 jemaah memilih untuk menolak subsidi dengan mengatakan mereka merasa perlu untuk tidak membebankan orang lain dan membayar sepenuhnya kos haji.
He said this in his speech when officiating the Convention of Islamic Affairs Management during the Prime Agency of Islamic Affairs Malaysia IJPAM 2023 Assembly at the Sabah International Convention Centre on Wednesday.
The successful execution of Malaysia's Hydrogen Economy and Technology Roadmap HETR is expected to position Malaysia as a significant player in the global green hydrogen market, which is projected to reach a minimum value of 824 billion ringgit by 2050. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadila Yusof said the implementation of HETR alone is anticipated to have prospects of generating up to 12.1 billion ringgit in revenue, with an estimated contribution of between 49 billion ringgit and 61 billion ringgit to gross domestic product by 2030.
He was representing Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim during the opening ceremony of the 14th International Green Tech and Eco Products Exhibition and Conference Malaysia iGEM 2023 earlier today. According to Fadila, the roadmap implementation would also generate over 45,000 job opportunities over the same period. With the implementation of initiatives under the recently unveiled National Energy Transition Roadmap NETR and the HETR, he said Malaysia is set to be at the forefront of becoming a regional leader in the energy transition and renewable energy industry.
The implementation of NETR with its 6 energy transition levers and 5 enablers is expected to uplift Malaysia's GDP value from 25 billion ringgit in 2023 to 220 billion ringgit and generate 310,000 jobs in 2050.
Organized by the Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change (NRECC) and co-organized by the Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation (MGTC), iGEM 2023 is Southeast Asia's leading trade event for green technologies and eco solutions. Fadila said that iGEM 2023, with theme Race Towards Net Zero, Leadership for Climate Action, could play a decisive leadership role in accelerating and delivering the region's net zero and energy transition agenda.
The Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development has published data that contains an alarming rise in the number of sexually harassed victims that involves men. This data was gathered during the many stops of the Juraya Warakasih Art Anti-Sexual Harassment Advocacy Program throughout the country from July 6 to October 2nd. Since more people are coming out as victims, albeit men or women, Minister Datuk Seri Nancy Shukri said the program has successfully achieve one of its many goals.
Kalau dulu yang saya bagi figure yang mula-mula dalam speech saya, dia tak ramai. Mungkin kerana dia tak kenal, tak berani, malu, macam-macam lah dia punya alasan. Sekarang ini tadi saya dah bagi tahu dia punya penambahan itu agak ketara lah. Kita nampak penambahan itu terutama sekali golongan lelaki keseluruhannya 100 bukan tu keseluruhan tadi kita sudah sebut daripada ni, so dari negeri-negeri tadi saya sudah sebut, tapi penambahannya agak ketara.
Nancy spoke after officiating the program for its Ipoh leg on Thursday. Throughout the program, a total of 762 people have come forward as victims of various forms of sexual harassment. Of the total, 187 of them are men. Sexual harassment can be classified into 4 stages: low, medium, high, and critical. The low stage involves minor sexual jokes, while the medium stage refers to verbal abuse in the form of foul language to sexual gestures while communicating. Nancy also added that her ministry is taking any cases involving sexual harassment very seriously by revising the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act 2022, Act 840, to facilitate victims to report their cases so that it can be lawfully addressed aside from other remedies to relieve victims.
A total of 50 selected primary schools from Kuching, Padawan and Surian divisions will have an integrated portal for the schools by next year. This initiative, a collaboration between MyNIC Berhad and the Learning Curve, aims to promote digital education and cyber security in the state. And according to the Learning Curve founder Kenneth Chai, the website also aims to reduce the teachers' burden, in addition to highlighting the importance of digital progress in educational institutions.
The 50 selected school first and see, because these are the schools that I'm very familiar with. I'm there for many years already, so I want to use it to. These are smaller schools, smaller size schools, so allows me to try, and if I make a mistake, it wouldn't be a big school. So if everything's okay, we will compile the lessons learned, and hopefully we can scale it up.
Meanwhile, MyNIC Berhad Chief Executive Officer Datuk Hasnul Fadli Hassan said the company will sponsor the edu.my domain name for the schools participating in the pilot project, and the aim is to expand this initiative statewide.
So as the first 50 is done, we will also see how then we can replicate the same model to other states. So we'll get maybe other states' education sectors to come on board and see how this can be showcased and maybe can be replicated into a self-sustainable model.
MyNIC Berhad and the Learning Curve today signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU), which was witnessed by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Secretary General Datuk Muhammad Fauzi Mat Isa, held at the Borneo Convention Centre Kuching BCCK in conjunction with the 27th World Congress on Technology and Innovation and the International Digital Economic Conference SARAWAK 2023.
In a groundbreaking move to meet the evolving demands of law enforcement and security professionals, the Malaysian College for Security and Investigation Study, MyCSI, has introduced a pioneering enforcement studies program designed to equip individuals with the knowledge and skills necessary for effective enforcement in today's complex and rapidly changing world, promising to be a game changer in the field. MyCSI Chairman Tan Sri Dato Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun said, in addition to being the only college in Malaysia to offer such program, it also aimed to empower individuals to make a positive difference in their communities and beyond.
Berpaksikan kepada konsep setia dengan kepimpinan agama, bangsa dan negara, saya amat mengalu-alukan para pelajar untuk meneruskan pengajian di Kolej Pengajian Keselamatan dan Penyiasatan Malaysia, iaitu satu-satunya kolej penguatkuasaan di Malaysia bagi laluan kerjaya skim perkhidmatan unit beruniform mereka di masa akan datang.
Additionally, he said the establishment of the college is in line with the development of the country's higher education, with full trust given by the Ministry of Higher Education to carry out various related educational programs.
Kita memberi fokus selari dengan pembangunan pengajian tinggi negara. Kolej Pengajian Keselamatan dan Penyiasatan Malaysia ini akan dijadikan sebagai salah satu platform yang dapat menyumbang ke arah sistem penguatkuasaan undang-undang negara. Oleh itu, fokus utama Kolej Pengajian Keselamatan dan Penyiasatan Malaysia akan tertumpu ke arah merealisasikan kemakmuran negara dengan melahirkan pelapis negara bagi keperluan di masa-masa akan datang.
Other programs at MyCSI include Anti-Corruption and Governance Studies, Immigration and Border Control Studies, Diploma in Policing, Business Administration, and Certificate in Law Enforcement. With its commitment to excellence, innovative curriculum, and experienced faculty, MyCSI is poised to set new standards in the field of law enforcement and security education. For more information about the program, admission requirements, and enrollment details, interested individuals can visit the MyCSI website at mycsi.edu.my. Admission selection will be held from 19th to 22nd October and 4th to 5th November.
onto some global affairs. Malaysia is still waiting for a response from the neighbouring country to promptly resolve the ASEAN Agreement on Transboundary Haze Pollution AATHP. Minister of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change Nik Ahmad said Malaysia have yet to receive any response after sending a letter to Indonesia.
He said this during a press conference at the International Green Tech and Eco Products Exhibition and Conference Malaysia 2023, or otherwise known as IGEM 2023, held from October 4th to 6th at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre. The event was officiated by Deputy Prime Minister Dato Seri Fadillah Yusof, representing Prime Minister Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim on Thursday. Previously, Nik Nazmi was reported to have said that the letter had been sent to his Indonesian counterpart following the Prime Minister's directive to coordinate with ASEAN counterparts to resolve the cross-border haze problem. In a different update, according to the latest readings from the ASEAN Specialized Meteorological Center based in Singapore, there are 9 hotspots detected in Sarawak, while in Indonesia, there are 16 hotspots in Sumatra and 193 hotspots in Kalimantan.
Wrapping up the Nightline, local authorities in India have reported that the number of casualties resulting from a destructive glacial lake burst in the country, which led to a powerful flash flood, has climbed to a minimum of 10 individuals, while 82 others remain unaccounted for. Indian Army spokesperson Himanshu Tiwari said roads had been severely damaged and 14 bridges had been washed away.
The sudden surge of water occurred following heavy rainfall that triggered the overflow of Lornak Lake, situated at high altitude beneath a glacier amid the peaks encircling the world's third highest mountain, Kachenjunga. Among the missings are 22 soldiers, and fortunately one previously missing soldier was rescued. As global temperatures continue to rise and ice melts, the occurrence of intense flooding caused by glacial lakes blocked by unstable rocks has become more common, in which climate scientists caution that these events pose a growing threat throughout the broader Himalayan mountain range.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that's all the updates for TVS Nightline tonight. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching and have a good night.